Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening. This is Brian and you, uh, and we're doing this for the United Kingdom, France, Spain, the Netherlands, Portugal, Poland, Germany, most of Europe. It is 11:19 in the morning here in Pennsylvania. For some of you, it's earlier in the morning, all the way out to the West Coast. So, yes, Christopher, this is my NPR voice. Hello, and welcome to Paperclip Boring Radio. I'm your host, Dan Machowski, and I have a small balloon, circus style, inflating and deflating in my ass. But I'm such a professional that you can't tell my prostate is being stimulated by a Harbor Freight air compressor. So, coming up next on NPR, we have a light jazz rendition of the Postal Service. Remember to support your blah, 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 blah. So it's going to be raining all day today here in Pennsylvania. And my oatmeal is way over there, isn't it? Yeah. I didn't know what else to do because I am taking a week off from RCR. Next Monday is going to be an RCR Stories. Nick is covering that. So I thought, well, I'll take a week off, have some me time. But surprise, surprise, there's nothing to do. How are my volume levels, by the way? I think they were the same from what they were last time. Do I need to make it louder? Or louder or quieter? Louder? Louder or quieter? Actually, I can mute Nick's mic because it isn't plugged in. So here we can go louder or quieter. The volume is generally fine. Okay. The only vice I am allowing myself for for all of October is coffee. No smokables, no drinkables, no sweetables. The results of which are my emotions are kind of letterboxed, although I'm generally pissy all the time. But I don't know if that's because of the lack of sugar or if that's just the general mood of the election. So, mm, tell you one thing, on October 1st, I am going off the rails. As far as the bodily changes of giving up all alcohol and all sugar for a month, my love handles have almost completely gone away. My arms are bigger, my chest is larger. There's nothing else to do but just go work out. And that's also from all the push-ups I've been doing, because either on the 1st or on the 31st, I need to prove that I can do 40 good form push-ups in a row. Currently, my arms start to shake at around 35, 34, 36. So the rest of them I could probably do on emotion, but they will be ragged. So I plan not to exercise on the 31st as a recovery day, just so I don't hurt my shoulders or tear my shoulders or something like that. Cheesy Jeezy says do clapping push-ups. Oh boy, those things. So I'm doing this, Brian and you, for everybody over in the United Kingdom, so I can have something to do this morning before I go to the gym again. So anyway, there were some questions that came in here. Gonna refresh the page. It's a very different mood when Nick isn't here, isn't it? So see all. There we go. So we have Boris TLS Karloff, familiar face. Thank you so much for just being first. We've got Nick H. That says anime titties. Usually he's the first guy. In this case, Boris beat him out. And a question from Rec. Hello, Rec. Hello, it's been a minute. I was in the desert. Anyway, what's the official car of a man coming home to his vegan wife and going, honey, I got us a Traeger? Nissan Frontier pickup truck. Home to his vegan wife. Because that implies that how much control the wife has over the relationship may control whether he's allowed to get a Chevy or not. He has a truck, but Nissan Frontier is Nissan Frontier is for a guy who wants a Tacoma but can't afford one and doesn't want to be seen driving a Chevy or a Ford. So, Traeger, honey, I got us a Traeger. Well, you can smoke other things in that. I think with the Traeger's branding is it kind of crosses dietary political lines because it's a yuppie. It's a yuppie appliance. So I think if someone is militant vegan, they'd probably be fine with a Traeger. Drew Witta says, I'm in Johnson Hall because my roommate is being tested for COVID. What is the best building you stayed in at Kutztown University? Oh, hello. A guy at KU. So what? You're in Johnson Hall? Like, what is your real dorm? Man, I miss those three dorms. You had Johnson, Berks, and Schuylkill. Oh, Johnson Hall. You seriously live in Johnson Hall? All right. Well, if you're over there in Kutztown University, I lived in Lehigh. Lehigh for first 3 years, and then I was off campus. I had friends. I think the best place apartments right there off of Main Street. It's the minimum amount of distance you have to walk to class. Oh boy, my connection is unstable. You don't have an RA, you don't have a CA. I mean, you do, but you don't have to walk past them. You literally just walk into the apartment. That's it. And you don't have to go up and down a whole bunch of stairs like you are in Golden Bear Village South. You're not stacked on top of each other. You get an upstairs and a downstairs in those little apartments. I think they're fantastic. Oops, hit the mic. Man, Johnson Hall, ham wallet, squish mitten. Not sure what that means. Who is my internet service provider? It's Comcast, because of course it is. My oatmeal's all the way over there. So, seeing all monetization. Thank you for hanging out with me this morning on this rainy day. It's supposed to rain all day today in Pennsylvania, so it's nowhere to drive. There's nothing to do. Mark 6 Jetta owner says, "Hey, it's Eric. Thought I recognized the face there. Change my screen name. How have you been? Have you been sleeping better?" Yes, that's another thing. Giving up booze and giving up sugar means if I just stay asleep, I think maybe I have a pee break in the middle of the night, but yeah, I sleep great. I went to bed at. I got in bed at midnight, and I think I probably looked at my phone for like a half an hour or so. So I got to sleep at like 12:45. I woke up at like 9:59. So I've been getting amazing hours of sleep. I feel bad like I'm sleeping the day away, but there's nothing. Time doesn't exist right now. So whatever. Keep sleeping. Yeah. And he says, that's what I always notice when I work out hard. Hope you've been well. Yeah, I've been well. I'm just looking forward to when this is all over, Eric. Both biological and otherwise. Cameron. Hello, Cameron. Damn super early. What's your favorite dinosaur and why? Which dinosaur did I want to fuck is what I'm hearing from you. So the answer is probably going to be Allosaurus. He lives in the shadow of the other large dinosaurs, so he probably sucks dick really, really well. He's got that. Allosaurus has that immigrant mentality of sucking dick in the prehistoric era. All right, I'm gonna get my oatmeal. Bear leg diary. Bear leg diary. Thank you. Haven't shat myself since you advised me per Greg F. Okay, I'm trying to remember what that means. That's not doing that's not doing that not doing so was one of my two responsibilities in life. Couldn't have done it without you. Trying to understand what he's talking about. Per Greg F. I know a few Gregs, but none of them with the last name starting with F. I know Greg Davis. We all know Greg International. I know two Gregs. Huh. Okay, now it's windy and it's rainy outside. I should just put a microphone outside and just like capture this sound and like mix it in the background. Anyway, Cameron again says, how is your $1,000 crap can Toyota manual search going? I've been throwing out offers. All of them are like really high mileage, like Corollas. It has to be manual. And the long and short of it is, I'm not taking it that seriously, so it's not going that well. So yeah. Can you still find $1,000 car? Justin Kramer from Catasauqua Auto Repair and his friend Corey, they're finding $1,000. They're finding $400 cars all the time. And I don't know how they do it. They told me we just browse all day long. Like, I guess that's what he does when he comes home work. He just browses and browses and browses and just throws out offers. And it's the Boomhauer method of getting a car, just throwing out ridiculously low offers and someone's going to say yes. So I think that's the way they do it. I'm like too picky. I got to be way less picky on buying a shit box. Good question, though. Radiohead 4D1. Thank you. How do I, A, get over the fact that 2021 G80 won't have a V8? First of all, why do you care about what Nissan does these days? And B, get over the death of V8s in general. LT1 exists. They're making those. The Coyote motor's still going strong. I guess there's a Voodoo version of that. Toyota still... Does Toyota still do V8s? Or are they doing turbo 6s all the time? You're not going to get rid of them. I mean... And Mopar just keeps doing all their Challenger things. So I mean, maybe to my point is that there's not variants of V8s like there were in the 80s, all different shapes and kinds. There's like, each manufacturer has their V8 and then they Taco Bell approach their entire range of what they want that V8 to be. That's my interpretation of what you're asking. So I wouldn't worry about what Nissan does at all. I'm like, oh yeah. When I see a Nissan, I'm like, oh yeah, Nissan. I mean, Tony Airlines drives a Versa, but that's just like his daily car that he drives into JFK in to go to work. Rain is dumb, but we need it. I want to mow my lawn, but it's way too wet. It's got leaves on it. Tried to rake, wait leaves. Tried to wake leaves. Tried to make wake leaves. Tried to rake wet leaves yesterday. It was like shoveling snow. It was like doing blow, but all it does is make you gay. Now Nick is listening to Come Town too, so like rolling around in a tea bag. Yeah. Raking wet leaves is like raking wet tea bags. Man. Andy doesn't have a question, just gives a donation. So thank you for $5. Boris TLS Karloff again saying Moderna says it's preparing a global launch of COVID vaccine as it takes in 1.1 billion in stocks. Okay, Moderna. Okay, what are they at? Moderna. Okay, stocks time. Moderna. Stonk. I actually typed in stonk, and it just sends me back. All right. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. What am I selling? I'm awake now. What am I going to, okay. I'm going to do stonks right now. Something in my stock is about to be sold. This is me getting excited. This is me drinking coffee. Hey, your day's different. Let's make financial decisions right here. So, Moderna, stock code or stock symbol is mRNA. What's the phonetic word for M? Nancy. Mike Romeo November Alpha. Put in my password. Stonks and stonk trade. All right. So, trading at $71 a share. What can I get rid of? You know what? You know what I'm dumping? I'm only going to lose $50. I bought this one stonk back in the summertime called Duke Energy. They're just like they own a bunch of power plants, and I thought, oh, they're getting into renewable resources and something, and gas well drilling and all that stuff. So, okay, maybe they'll be a good thing and they pay a dividend. All it is has been a turd this entire time. And I own 5 shares, and the current price is $91, which I sell that, it will get me $458. So, Duke, I'm kicking you to the curb, man. Reduce position. Hell yes. Sell. Sell how much? Well, I have 5 shares, right? Where are you? There you are. So you got 5 shares. Reduce position. Sell. 5. No, not 50. That's the thing about stock skunk trade. It thinks you're a big time trader, so it already starts at like 100 share intervals, which I guess is how the real world rolls. Place order. I need my password. Enter. There you go. I didn't even ask for a higher price. I'm just selling it at market value. Just get me out of Duke Energy. We're gonna get out of Duke Energy and get into Moderna. Hell yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that stock tip. Let's see if I lose more money. Maybe I'll just do a quick in and out with Moderna. Everybody gets real excited. Make like $100 and then sell it again. And then just buy Visa, which is what I've been meaning to do for a long time. Anyway, see when that goes through. So where we were. So thank you, Boris. Thank you for giving me a stock price and giving me a donation at the same time. Andy says, I am an elite bike racer as opposed to an apprentice bike racer. How's your cardio? If you're looking to lose body fat, cutting out carbs and sugar isn't the answer. Okay. You're right. Appalachian hikers who are hiking at minimum 25 miles a day with like a 30 to 50 pound pack are burning, well, they're burning like 6,000 calories a day. These guys eat donuts, candy, Snickers bars, junk food, and they still lose weight. In order to maintain weight, they just go to Chinese restaurants or just eat like 2 gigantic burgers or an entire pizza and stuff like that. I go on the elliptical machine for 40 minutes, usually a day. So in order to burn that much calories, I'd have to be on that elliptical machine for like 2 hours or something like that. And in that case, I wouldn't have to eliminate carbs and sugar. The only carb, well, okay, oatmeal is a carb and rice is a carb, but it's not enriched white bread and stuff like that. But I see what you're saying. I also, because I used to run a lot, I don't have a lot of cartilage left in my right knee. So that thing clicks like crazy. So when it comes to running and impact style cardio, I need to back off of it. I do have a bicycle. Just it's a giant mountain bike. And during the beginning of the pandemic, I rode it everywhere because my gym was closed. And that was my exercise. But I found it took time to get up a good sweat and stuff on a bicycle. It was much harder for me to burn the same amount of, or at least feel like I was burning the same amount of calories on a bicycle than it did at the gym. And also, I like my nose was always running because if the weather wasn't like 80 degrees, it felt weird. Like, I don't know how people ride there. Well, I guess they just muscle their way through it. But doing heavy cardio in cold weather, it's just that all the time. And spit and drool and more snot, stuff coming out of your mouth all the time. Yeah. So I don't know. Did my order go through? Is it stonk time yet? Is it stonk time yet? Still didn't go through. I think I'm going to get an email when it goes through. Still nothing. Anyway, Radio Walla says, hello from India, Mr. Regular. Hello, Radio Walla. Hello, India. Cool. It's like really late at night, or the middle of the night, right? Middle of the night there, right? How are you guys getting along? In the U.S. news, we hear nothing about India right now. It's just election. That's it. That's all we know. Sorry. Cool. Hope everything's going good for you. Mito02 says, who should I call when I need a whole Doug, no questions asked? Well, the answer, of course, is Rinaldi and Klein. And I can't do the voice right now. It's hard to do that without Nick here. But I think we got Rinaldi and Klein coffee mugs now. The thing about Rinaldi and Klein is that it sounds so real. Like in text, it's like, if it didn't say like authentic New York excavation, it just said like the fake Staten Island address. The Staten Island address that I created for Rinaldi and Klein puts you out in the water. It doesn't exist, but it looks real. And that'd be funny if I ever got like a van. It would just say Rinaldi and Klein excavation on the side of it, probably in brush script MT, like some unimaginative font that every idiot puts on the side of their work van for that extra loser aesthetic. Brush script MT. Is Fiber One still relevant to you? It's been quiet. Yeah, I haven't eaten Fiber One cookies. I haven't needed Fiber One ever since I got those $30 butt cleaners. You know, the cheap cold water bidets. They help the poo come out. When it's extra hard, you just relax your brown eye. And then you just spray water. It goes like a jackhammer, breaks it all up while it's still inside of you. And out it comes, zippity-doo-dah. And you get to go read the community newsletter. And then you go put your all attention into like the letters to the mayor, and that's you don't even have to pay attention to the Louisiana mud cake. So it's good. Andrew Palmer said, had a chance to see the king of the baggers race. It was kind of wild watching Harley's India's going around Laguna Seca on. Oh, okay, king of the baggers. No, I'm kind of interested in that. I can't do it right now because I have to be kind to the bandwidth here. If I start like watching YouTube videos, it'll probably make you have to press F to pay respects to the bandwidth if I start doing that now. And that's an interesting thing. Thank you for the tip. King of the baggers. John Woods, thank you for your donation. Says, haven't been able to catch a stream in a while. Here's to a rainy day in eastern Pennsylvania. Yep. Looking at the weather app, it's just 100% chance of rain all day today. Still want to get a cocktail bar or something for the other room, the computer room. The computer room over there where my editing computer is / main computer. The only thing it has in it is a piano that's never leaving that room, a butcher block on wheels, and that's it, and a trash can. That's all that's in that room over there. I was over at Greg International. He has a warehouse in town. We were looking at his lift. He bought a warehouse that has one of the old school car lifts in it, and it's the air hydraulic single ram, like the single post that comes out of the ground, like from the 40s. And it doesn't use electricity. It's just compressed air and hydraulic fluid. And there's like 2 levers on the wall, and it works. It works silently. But hydraulic fluids like leaking everywhere. And it's super weird to me that I get it that it's one big heavy post that lifts the car, but that post is like covering up like half the underside of the car. It's like in the way. And sometimes you need how do you do exhausts with your car there like that? Modern 2 posts, they don't get in the way of the underside of the car. They're out of the way. So, and also those old hydraulic lifts don't have safety catches on them. It's just a check valve that closes the hydraulic lines. And if that check valve leaks, the car starts sinking back to the ground. Anyway, it's a cool looking thing. And he said it'd be cool to get it working. And I agree that it's neat that it's there, that it works. ish. But mm, I was of the mindset that it's a neat idea, but unless I don't know how it would add to the value of him wanting to rent out that warehouse, because it used to be an auto repair shop at some point, um, and have someone else use it as an auto repair shop. Any modern person would want the electric two post because they're just plain safer. And there's nothing to maintain, and often they come with warranties, and if they break, there's a guy who comes out and fixes them. Anyway, Christopher Conrad says, "Have you considered working with someone who has an auction license if required in Pennsylvania to find a cheap Toyota?" No, I haven't considered that. I don't know anybody who has an auction license. Yeah, I know no one who has an auction license. If someone in Eastern Pennsylvania has an auction license, let me know. It's an idea. I liked going. I'd still there's one thing I need to write, and uh, it's it's uh, it's oh, this day is stupid. Rain is gay. uh, it's writing an article on the classic car and collector car auctions over at Carlisle, Pennsylvania. It's all over there on the piano. I just have to write it out and then type it out and hate it and love it again. Clint says, "All hail Fink, all hail Fink, all hail Fink." Yeah, it's been a while since I went hiking again. I miss that. Waterfalls, all that stuff. TLC, Salt and Pepper, 90s hip hop, R&B. What was TLC? Was that hip hop or was that pop hop? I mean, it was pop music. Or was that techno? No, it's not New Jack. I'm just going to call it hip hop. Deputy Booty with an interesting amount, $25.69. Nice. Finally caught you live. Here's the tab. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Revisit the RX-8. Other cars to revisit. There is an RX-8 that I want to do. It's a Turbo LS swap, and it's over at Bruce's. And it's probably the cleanest one you're ever going to see. The guy's been working on it for a long time. And mostly because the owner just had to come up with the money in piecemeal. Anywho, it's there. And I'd like to at least get a chance to video it, because I hope the kid's not going to crash it, because that's going to make, that's going to make Pro Street power. Pro Street power on like autocross wheels and tires. Yikes. John Woods, thank you for your donation. Also, I know Nick normally does RCR stories, but would you do ever but would you ever do anything on Burt Murno, considering your interest in motorcycles in New Zealand? Sure. I'll admit I don't know who Burt Murno is. Did be a fun story. Now I miss New Zealand. I wonder how everybody's doing. I think it's still cold down there, because like this is early fall and this is early spring, and I think they have the same problem that we do, that the cold sticks around too long. Anyway. Oh, it's going to be years before I can go back there. Murray. Hello, Murray. Here's a few bucks for the tip jar. Thanks. I appreciate it. Can't catch the whole show because I forgot my headphones and I'm in a coffee shop. Oh, well, have fun. Enjoy your coffee and lunch and everything you're doing wherever you are. Cool. I remember that was another option. Like, did I want to do this stream, or did I just want to go back to the cafe and write that article? Because I was at the cafe like 2 days ago, because there's nothing else to do. I can just go back to the cafe. The cafe closes in 2 hours. It closed at 2 p.m. And now I'm drinking coffee. I got coffee in me. I don't need more, but it's kind of weird being in a coffee shop and not drinking coffee. I don't know. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Maybe I can text Greg right now because he had some footage. Footage he wanted me to edit from his plane, and maybe I can text him, which I'm going to do right now. It's rainy and I'm bored, comma. If you want me to show you how to edit video, I can do that. I gotta go find my Spank socks. Spank socks are a necessity. Give them to your guests. Don't say nothing. Just smile. Thank you, Murray. Joint specialist. Thank you. Says, you ready to fall back? I live in Arizona and it's Mountain Standard Time all the time. The idea of year-round daylight savings time is ridiculous. When do we fall back? Next month? Sometime? Yeah. I don't care. I like daylight savings time better because it's light longer. And also, thanks to you guys, now that I have my own job, I can wake up whenever I want. So there's no wait. Oh, you get an extra hour of sleep. You know what my extra hour of sleep is? Putting the phone back down and going back to sleep. That's my extra hour of sleep. The last time I had a rise every single day was, I think, when we were up in Toronto filming the Westphalia pilot. There, you had to get up in the morning. That sucked. Or rather, you had to get up before your body was ready to get up. Arizona. So weird that Arizona and Phoenix now is going to be forever linked to, like, us in March being there when everything went crazy and then flying home. Anyway, Hello Rec says, oh yeah, Kunkelman Ford. Well, we need to find out a different name. It can't be Kunkelman Ford. It has to be like the opposing thing to Kunkelman Chevrolet. It has to be like Meiderbacher. I think Meiderbacher Ford will be like the opposing one. Or should I just rock it on the Raptor just because? Oh, okay. See, if we made like Meiderbacher Ford, it would have to be a different style of commercial. It couldn't be a Big Bill Hells style. It would have to be probably like an NPR style thing, like an extra amount of caring. Like, at Meiderbacher Ford, we care about you. Meiderbacher Ford. All of our sales associates have very soft hands. Meiderbacher Ford. Come in for our complimentary box of kittens. Meiderbacher Ford, a safe space for you. Why get fucked aggressively when you can get fucked with a velvet condom, with a velvet dildo? Meiderbacher Ford will ravage your asshole, but with a spiked dildo wrapped in the softest blue velvet. Meiderbacher Ford. Feels so good. Meiderbacher Ford. Okay, if Kunkelman is Kunkelman Chevrolet, it's Meiderbacher. Tastes so good. Meiderbacher Ford. I hope I remember this. I got nothing to write with within my immediate reach. Meiderbacher Ford. I guess I'll just have to tweet it so I remember it. Meiderbacher. Meiderbacher. MYDER. Is it MID? Mitre, BACH. Miterbacher Ford. Yeah. All right, tweeted that. Miterbacher. Okay. Daddy. Okay. You seem to like that one. So thank you. Thank you so much. Nesson says Miterbacher Ford. We have more than one Keurig machine, so you don't feel cheated. That's funny because Steve Moyer Subaru, I think, that's the one like the only dealership around here that wants kind of anything to do with us is a Steve Moyer over in Leesport, and Steve Moyer did this good move in the waiting room. They got a Keurig, they got a diner style iced tea machine, like the big gigantic like steel canister. Then they have a fast food style self-service soda machine on top of a refrigerator filled with like Greek yogurt, and to top it all off, a pyramid of tasty cakes. So, there's Greg. Greg just says sure. Excellent. So, for like a few dollars, that so far has been the best waiting room I've ever been in. It's cafeteria style. They don't have too many couches. It's more like school cafeteria tables. But still, the only suggestion I have would be to turn that TV off from not display the news in the waiting room. Unless that's really what the customers want. I'd just say put it on like Travel Channel or just like the Weather Channel, but not the current Weather Channel. There needs to be another weather channel that is just like calming weather. Maybe I should be that person. Calming weather. So, Miterbacher Ford it is. Thank you. Phil K. Euros. Thank you for your European donation. Hello from Italy, Mr. Regular. Hello. What do you think of the Yamaha FC1? So that's the more relaxed version of the R1. We have a lot of those here. It's pretty much the epitome of a sleeper motorbike. Do you guys restrict motorcycles for like learners and stuff? Because New Zealand did that. I think they did like throttle plates and stuff or restrictor plates. But I don't know if Italy does that. I want to say you guys don't because you're more American that way. And I mean that as a compliment, not as an insult. That, hey, whatever you want. You want a fast bike? Have a fast bike. So yeah, I like the FC1. And I'm more, as I age, I like your upright seating positions more than I like being bent over the tank. So yeah, I think I'd like the FC1. I looked for a while at the GSX 1000F because there was one at the dealership when I bought my 650F. But the thing I later read is that Suzuki had this problem with the fuel injection, like whatever their mapping is. It's that stupid on and off switch, or that the throttle feels like an on and off switch. It doesn't roll on very nicely, and it was just like, I guess, a shortfall of Suzuki. I mean, you get used to it. You can ride. You can adopt a riding style to ride around that as it comes off the idle circuit. I'm hopefully Yamaha, was able to fix that, not have the same problem. Good question. Brian and a bunch of numbers. I desperately need a Geo Metro review. Yeah, we definitely need to do one. I mean, I don't want to do a Geo Metro in the same vein as when we had that Ford Festiva that was all rat rotted out. I just want a regular Geo Metro. God help you. Trying to find one. There was one around here for parts, and it had a cool like white and teal paint job. But it'd be more work than I feel like putting into a freaking Metro. Michael Cesarani, thanks for keeping us all sane. Hey, thanks for keeping me employed. Keep up the good work. I will. And thank you for the generous donation. Owl Guy 007. The Lemons Rally drivers are out on day 4 right now. Will we ever get to see you rally again? I bought a. Greg says I can come over. Sure, you can come on over, comma. You can even hop on the live stream if you want. Period. I'm bored, so I'm live streaming right now. Anyway, will we ever see you on a rally again? Yeah. I want to do another rally. I really wanted to do one with Adler the Eagle, but he's got his hands all busy with his like virtual New Year's Eve event, like trying to build a virtual hotel in VR chat. I think they're using VR chat. But see, I bought a second Lotta, FYI. Oh, okay. Do I want to do a rally in a Lotta? I don't know, man. I kind of want to just have like an old crapped out like 70s turd mobile. My old landlord had an estate sale, or he bought a piece of property. I might have talked about this before. Greg says, I'll just come over. That's another layer of difficulty for me. Yeah. Greg said he was kind of weird about being live on camera. It's 2020. This is what everybody does now because there's nothing else to do. And I'm out of creamer, so I can't add any more coffee because I'm not a black coffee drinker. I do it if I have to, but I need the cream. I need to stay on the team. So yeah, I think my old landlord bought a property on estate sale. He just bought everything. He's just like, I'll have this. And the property came with 3 Dodge Furies from the 70s of varying years and varying conditions. And the really nice one, like the vomit green, like it was green on green with a Virgin Mary on the dash. The car was fucking mint. I offered him what I thought was a very generous offer for like a 1978 Plymouth Fury with one of the smogged out, I don't know what. It had a V8, but it was, smoggier, so whatever. It's probably making 150 horsepower at the most. And I offered him $3,000. I thought that was generous. He wanted more than that, so I'm like, I don't know. And I was over at Bruce's shop, who worked on the 3 Furies. And he said, he's going to call you back again. But, he never did. I'd still be a buyer at $3,000 because it'd be kind of cool. Like paying more than that for like a Malaise era thing that you're just going to dick around with. It's like, man, because it's going to need constant work because, it's going to be a 50-year-old mission. 50 in the 70s. Yeah, 50-ish old thing. Anyway, good question, Owl Guy. I guess Greg's going to like just show up, but then he's going to like not be on camera. So I'm probably going to have to wrap up all this stuff because I don't want to skip your questions. Or when he's there, I'd have to like finish them all really quick. Nathan Rutherford says, have you considered a trip to the tail of the... Yes. Tony Airlines and I were supposed to go. Like he had a friend with a trailer that like earlier this, like in August, we were planning on going. Like he had a friend with a trailer. We were going to trail down his Honda Beat and drive the tail of Dragon in his like, like track ready Honda Beat. But then I guess he got his work schedule for the airlines and he couldn't go. And plus like the brakes are making noise. His brakes are shuddering, which I think is just a warped rotor. And we were over at his house the other day and we were taking the calipers off and the rotors look fine. And the pads they're only about halfway down. I mean, they're getting there, but they're not bad. But he ordered like new Honda Beat pads, but the person who was giving him who was selling like the Honda Beats, he had to order them from Japan, and it took a month to get here. That was another thing. If he was going to do Tail of Dragon, he really, really, really wanted fresh rotors and pads on that thing. So they came, and the pads are a different size. So and because there's no like going to Advance Auto with JDM stuff, like, hey, should I import a JDM car? It's like, yeah, you should, but be ready. There's every single part is going to be is going to be a nightmare. There's no easy fixing them on there unless you live in like, and I use this term because I am, but you got to live in a neighborhood of JDM people, because everybody's going to be hoarding parts, and then maybe it'll be a little easier. So unless you're like have deep connections or just be independently wealthy like Muller is. Muller is a guy who owns a local rail yard, and he likes his JDM cars. So he just gives them to Bruce and just says, tell me when it's done and I'll pay you. So that's the other thing, to like have a guy like Bruce Henn who can work on JDM cars. Know that the car is going to be gone, and it's going to be gone for a month and a half at the least. But it'll come back and it'll be fixed. So doing it yourself is the automotive equivalent of trying to build Legos with the Legos that you find under the couch. It's going to be tough. So he thinks that he got Honda City brakes and not Honda Beat brakes. But we can't be completely sure that these rotors and calipers on his Honda Beat are for a Honda Beat, because, his whole car has been turned into like a track car. So nothing's what it should be, and part numbers don't match. And the best bet is to just take pictures of stuff and then post it to Honda Beat forums and just see what they think. Because it's not like you can just get another Honda Beat and bring it here. He has a friend in northern New Jersey, I think, or maybe in Pennsylvania, just like north of like Easton or something like that, who also has two Honda Beats, and one is the reference for the other. I think one is like the running parts car, and then the other one's the good one. Like both of them are streetable and they run, but one he just takes parts off of and puts it on the good one, and then orders stuff and fixes the other one. So that's the way to do it, is have two of them. So that was our plan, to go down to Tail of Dragon, but it didn't happen. If I go, I'm not going to ride a motor. I really don't want to ride a motorcycle there. I don't know the road, and I'm not an aggressive driver, and everybody has lousy attitudes. I kind of just want to hang out and just people watch and write stuff down. Good question. Philip Hand. Hello, Philip. It would be awesome if you could do a video on the V16 Cadillac Bruce has when he's done finishing it. Love to do it. It's more of a Muller question. And I talked to Josh, Muller's assistant, and I asked, do you think RCR's style of humor would line up with Muller's? And Josh said, that was his response. So I don't think I can, fully review any of the cars in the Muller collection, because, the question is, hey, so-and-so has a car and you should do it. And I say, great. Will that guy be comfortable? How would that guy feel about some gay guy making dick jokes for like 10 minutes about his car? And they go, oh, yeah, that's what RCR is. Oh. Rec. Hello. And thanks, Phil. Thanks for the donation. We were supposed to do Phil's Honda Helix scooter he bought. That was totally rad 80s designs. And now it's raining, and now it's sucky. But our old intern, Ben Wright, wanted to do his Honda CM400T, I think. Or is it CM400? No, it's not the 400A. That's the automatic. Maybe it's just a regular CM400. He doesn't have a tack. Anyway. We're getting some nice weather next week, so maybe he'd come up and do it, and maybe we could do 2 bikes in one day. Because bikes don't take that long to film, because there's not much to film on them. Rex says, Meiderbacher Ford, we edited your Facebook page for you, so everybody knows about the Aerostar you just bought. Interesting. That's a line. Alex Olson says, with a generous donation, thank you, Alex. Mr. Regular, Mr. Regular, you can heal your knees with high rep resistance training. A pump is blood flow, so it's restorative to soft tissue with a bunch of hamstring and calves. I've fixed my trashy football knees. Also love the show. Yeah, send me an email with like the exercises you're supposed to do. High rep resistance training. All right, so my gym has a lot of equipment. Do you think they'd have the equipment there? Hmm. So what, like leg lifts or something like that, or just a whole bunch of squats? Um, Good question, Alex. Yeah, send me an email about that. Regularcars@gmail.com. Yuma says, "Hi, Mr. Regular. Just bought my first motorcycle. Any recommendation for stuff I should have other than protective gear? Thanks." Phone mount. That's it. You got your protective like that. That's it. It's just time. Give yourself a year and a half at minimum. Ride in all 4 seasons if your region has all 4 seasons. Don't ride in the snow. I made that mistake. Dumped my bike in this. Don't ride in the snow. It's stupid. Um, uh, oh, here's something. Gallon Ziploc bags. They make, they don't have to be Ziploc brand. Gallon Ziploc bags. The gallon Ziploc bags are for your backpack. They go inside your backpack. If you're riding somewhere and you're not sure you just keep them in there. So if you got clothes, you put them inside the gigantic Ziploc bag and they go in your backpack. That way, when you get caught in the rain, they stay dry. That's the cheap way. Instead of putting the gigantic, cover on your backpack, you put the cover on the inside of your backpack. Or that just a trash bag, honestly. Trash bag. Always carry a roll of tape, electrical tape, masking tape, or something. This one time, maybe people have heard this story before. I was riding out to Pittsburgh and I got caught in the rain. And you know that thing where you get so wet you don't care anymore? But the rain started to hurt and it hurt my shins. The part that was almost straight up and down or leaned back a little bit, it was just hammering my shins and it started to hurt. So I pulled over. I was on the turnpike. I pulled over into one of the rest stops and I got 2 copies of the Welcome to PA brochure. They came shrink wrapped. So, and I taped those things with a roll of masking tape to my legs like I had shin guards. And I just rode with that. And that took the impact of the big fat rain I was riding through. So if I didn't have that roll of tape, I mean, I guess I could have, it probably would have sold some at the rest stop. But anyway, the tape, I was like, this is genius. Masking tape. Aaron Crutchfield, also zip ties, carry zip ties. Aaron Crutchfield. Good question, Yuma. Aaron Crutchfield, thank you for your donation. If you can play a YouTube video, this ad from an actual Ford dealer might inspire. Can't send a link in Super Chat, but search for Keif and Sons Ford ad. Keif and Sons Ford ad. Tweet me that. Just at regular cars. Tweet me that thing, and I'll have a look. That's a good way. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you for your donation. Jacob Kaczynski. I think that I'm pronouncing it right. My BMW E90 330i bricked itself. My current daily is a 92 FSO Polonaise. Oh, like the one from Top Gear, which stood in the bushes for 8 years before I rescued it in March. Nice. I heard about the FSO Polonaise from like old Top Gear. That'd be an interesting thing to have around here. The F&O Polonaise. I think Clarkson was calling it the FSO Polonaise Leisure. Refresh. Headlight Productions. Hi, this is Oliver from Toronto. Oh, hi. Hi, Oliver. Oliver, for people, he's the owner of the Volkswagen Vanagon Westfalia that we filmed. And if it wasn't for Oliver and his generous time for being able to film that car on multiple days, we never would have been never been able to film that pilot. Hi, this is Oliver from Toronto. I got into bikes despite the insurance rate. Ooh, and bought a Honda C70 Passport. Yay! 70 kilometers an hour. Never felt so fast. So that's like what? 50 miles an hour? Hell yeah. Bikes are fun. And also, yeah, we saw a lot of like small bikes in Toronto. I don't know if you can go on the queue, but do you call it the queue? The highway? I forget. But yeah, super fun. I think the Honda C70 is the one with the crash box. Greg's here. All right, so Greg is here. He didn't get out of the car yet. And here he comes. I got to go let Greg in. And, well, I can actually watch him coming in. Anthony Ferracci. We're probably going to wrap this up. I got to go let Greg in. I can get you a mic if you want. Oh, no, I got to go pick up food in 20 minutes. Oh, okay. All right, guys, I'm going to have to cut this short. I'm going to show Greg how to edit video. And so he's got to go pick up food in 20 minutes. So Anthony Ferrecci, I sent an email about reviewing an LS4 Monte Carlo on Long Island. I'm willing to travel. Hope you're interested. Love the show. Thank you. Yeah, just bump the thing. I don't know when we're heading out of state next. I do want to come out to Long Island because that's where my Falcon is from. The original dealership. And thank you so much for your donation. Abner Roman, hello. Mr. Regular, have you seen RCR's TV trope phase? Yeah, Nick loves that thing. That people were able to ascribe like stuff like that to RCR. So no more super chats, please. I'm going to do one last one. Adrian Kidney. Good morning, Suzuki Samurai. What one was the Samurai? The official car. Oh, the Suzuki Samurai. I want a Land Rover, but I'm too poor. Or it's I gotta follow trends at Radwood because now Suzuki Samurai are super hot because they're super 90s and weird and stuff like that. So that's it. So anyway, that's an interesting shot. So do your dad voice, please. Okay, we gotta finish this up now, kids. We gotta get over. We've got Greg here. I gotta show Greg how to use a computer and how to click things. And we gotta go pull a chair or a computer and use on what's called interactive windows. All right, you guys. We're done. We're done doing this. Thank you so much for keeping me company this morning with Brian and you. Good night to everybody in the UK and parts of Europe who are listening in. We're finishing up now. I'm not sure if Nick is going to come by and do a regular podcast, but thank you for keeping me company this morning. Thank you to everybody who donated to Super Chat. The money goes into our travel budget whenever we travel again. Thank you to everybody who donates to Patreon. You're allowing this YouTube channel to exist as a far larger channel than it actually is. And thank you to everybody who watches the videos on Monday. It's going to be an RCR Stories on Monday. Nick has been working very long on this one. It's going to be a story we've talked about before, but finally he's tackling it. And then the reviews start again the week after that. So that'll be all. And have a very good morning, guys. Thank you. Bye.